Welcome, everybody. It is episode number 387 of the OMG Hour, and I am still, yet again, as always, Sean Evans, otherwise known as Zion Tane. And who might you be?
For the first time ever.
What?
Tico, Mr. Second Place.
Welcome, Tico.
Wait.
No.
Sorry, I've been that for a while. No, same as you. All of the things you said, but me.
Then I won't welcome you to the show.
Sure, don't.
Because you're just not welcome here.
What do I care?
But before we get too far, everybody click that subscribe button, click the bell icon to get notified, and give us all your love. I don't want your money. I don't want your money. I want your love.
Don't save any for your family. Nothing. We want all of it.
And all of that love,
we want it.
All that love is all surrounded by that subscribe button right there. So go ahead and do that. Tico. Last week I talked about my attempt to play Ghost Recon and Assassin's Creed and was foiled.
I want to talk about other stuff first.
I was foiled by the downloads.
Yeah, the downloads don't like you.
I finally got in and played them both. And I got to tell you, all of the changes to Ghost Recon, I jumped in and I'm like, do you want the immersive mode? Do you want the original? I'm like, sure, I'll take immersive. But then there's been so many other changes. I jumped in, I'm like, what am I doing?
What buttons do what? That's the hard part of coming back to a game that is constantly updating and evolving. It's almost like I have to and it sucks. It's like I've got a level 30 character, but almost got to start brand new to learn the game again.
I know. And it's like, wow. I mean, I still had a good time playing it because now you have AI teammates like you did in Wildlands, and so you can Here's the thing, though. First of all, it's still a little bit broken. Like, the teammates are so broken, it's not even funny. They're supposed to follow you. But I went down underground into, like, a bunker, and they all stayed outside somewhere. Like, are you not following me, people? I'm trying to get you to line up shots here, and you're outside wandering around.
So it's like... So it really is the full teammate experience if I was your teammate.
Well, maybe.
Did any of them crash land a helicopter behind you?
No one crash landed. No one aggressively landed a helicopter. But here's the weird thing is you can totally cheese an entire area. In fact, I practically did. I went in and I just used my drone, and you can use the drone and say, target that guy, target that guy, target that guy, and you wait till they've all got them lined up. You go, shoot. I haven't done a thing. I'm just going around with my drone. And I'm like, okay, now target him, now target him, now target him. Okay, shoot. And I cleared out an entire area without taking a single shot myself.
Yeah, because you with the three teammates plus your drone can shoot as well, correct?
No. You have that special. There's a different drone for that. Oh. I'm talking about the spy drone that you can go and tag the opponents with, right?
Okay.
But you can totally just sit there and you know what? Shoot those three guys. Thanks. All right, now shoot those three guys. It's like, it feels like cheating, Tico. When there's a sniper up in a sniper's nest, it's supposed to be a challenge to get him out. When all you have to do is tell one of your guys to take him out for you and he's gone. They never miss.
No, they're good. They're much better than me. So there's that part where they're not me.
Yeah. So it's like, it's just so weird to basically allow a player to totally cheat the game like that. It feels like cheating because I literally did nothing and then cleared out an entire encampment. How is that right?
I'm okay with it.
Are you? I kind of feel like if you're going to set up a sync shot, it should require you to also shoot someone in order to enable it. Not just say, okay, now go ahead and shoot without doing anything yourself.
That's that's more realistic when you think about it. You don't all right, guys, line up your shot. Well, I'm not shooting until you shoot. That's not how it works. You don't have military, Mission Impossible is not where Ethan Hunt's going to, guys, okay, take the shot. Not till you.
Not till you do.
Yeah, like that's not how it works. Like you set up snipers. It's not. You don't have to wait till somebody else fires first.
But I'm not talking about realism. I'm talking about it's a game, and it
you
feels like
for immersive mode.
Yeah, but even in normal mode, the only difference between immersive and normal mode is immersive still gives you gear levels, and it gives you locations on the map where your missions are. Immersive mode removes levels on your gear. So it's like, I don't even know what the gear is for anymore because there's nothing on the gears. Like the gear that you collected, like you can't put it on. It's just, well, you can put it on, but it's cosmetic only. So there's no gear levels. Yeah. The weapons have no levels at all. So now instead of picking up a bunch of weapons, and breaking down the ones you don't want and swapping, getting a better weapon, and upgrading your weapons and stuff, instead, when you see a different weapon on the ground, you have to decide right then and there if you want to swap it with the one you have in your hand. There is no more inventory for the weapons. It's like you have two weapons, and you can swap one of them with that new weapon if you think it's better.
I mean, that, like, I don't mind that because it does always feel like it takes a little of the realism away of a game when it's like, all right, I have 72 sniper rifles in my backpack.
Yeah, I know. No, I agree. And that's what they call immersive. It's supposed to be a little bit more realistic, I guess.
Yeah.
But I'm not looking for like true realism in a game like this. It's a game. You know what I mean? It's more fantasy than realism. Like, so I've never questioned the 75 guns in my backpack because it's just whatever. It's inventory. It's stuff you've collected. It's loot. It's, they've basically taken away the loot drops, but you can still go back to that if you want the original experience.
Yeah. What I don't like is when they give you that thing, so you can keep 75 sniper rifles in your backpack, but 76 is ridiculous and that's not going to be allowed.
Too much. Now it's too heavy.
Like, now that's too much. There's no way somebody could have 76 sniper rifles in their backpack. 75 is fine. That's the maximum amount a person could actually carry into combat.
Yeah, don't be ridiculous. There's no way you need 76, Tico.
Me, is it bugs me. What if I wanted one in a different color? The same one as one of the other ones, but like a different color. In
don't be ridiculous, Tico. Come on.
Okay.
I also played Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I can't enjoy, for some reason, the whole underworld half of the Ancients storyline. It's so dark and dreary and boring and ugly and it's such a slog to get through it.
I finished the entire thing completely, 100% completed every possible thing in that game.
I know you have.
Everything.
It's not hard to do, Tico.
And I agree with your assessment of the underworld.
Yeah, I want to get to the third chapter, but I'm like, I have to play the underworld stuff, and I'm like, oh, it's such a slog to get through this underworld storyline. It's so freaking boring and ugly. So
just bear down and
grin and bear it. Just grin and bear it. Well, after all of that, I needed something to cleanse my palate. And so a couple of reviews came my way this week. The first one, a game called Feather. And this is, the video you're going to see here of you as a bird flying around. That is the game. That is literally what this game is. Okay? You are a bird on an island. And you fly around the island and discover what it has to offer you.
I feel like I've played this before, but as another game.
It's like Abzu, the underwater game. Then there was Flower. It's like Flower.
There's actually one, I think it's called Airy or something like that.
Airy was a game, though. This has no game to it, is what I'm saying. There is nothing to do except fly and discover things. I mean, there's stuff to do. Like if you land on the side of a fire urn, it'll actually light up when you fly off. There are portals you can fly through. No, There's portals you can fly through that change music, right? And then the portal I just flew through changed the bird's feathers. So there's stuff to discover, but there's no enemies, there's no boss, there's no quests, there's just fly is literally what this game is.
It's on the bottom of the box, just fly.
Just fly.
Feather. Just fly.
It's actually kind of a beautiful little game. It's simple. It's not super high quality. Like graphically, I mean, it's not like realistic lifelike stuff. It's more polygonal graphics, you know, the simplified.
Yeah,
but
smoother textures.
Much smoother textures, and it controls really well. It controls like the best you can expect it to. I had no trouble playing the game and flying through. I just flew through another portal that changes the music. So there's lots of different music melodies you can have playing. But you know, as simple as this game is, Tico, I played it for well over an hour in my first sitting. Just enjoying it's literally just an experience. It's not a game.
Did you feel more relaxed after having played it?
Absolutely. I love the music. It is a very relaxing game to play. It's by Samurai
Punk.
Samurai Punk is the developer that created it. You know, if you like things like Flower, like Journey, like Abzu, absolutely, this game is just like that kind of game. You know, it's a very simple, laid back. There's nothing you have to do except discover the island. You know, there's an area in there where there's like fruit hanging from a tree, and you can fly through and collect all the fruit. But then it ends up growing back. I'm thinking, oh great, if I clear all the fruit, do I get an achievement? Well, I have no idea, because it kept growing back.
Well, let me tell you, Sean, there are 11 achievements in this game.
I've got a few of them. One is to go through, there's actually portals in the ground that end up basically takes you from the ground as far up into the sky as you can possibly go, and then you end up flying back down through the clouds. Like, you're super high up. And you go through the clouds. It's literally a tunnel through this white cloud as you fly through, and then it opens up again, and there's the island down below. You know, so
there is an achievement to eat the fruit, by the way.
But I did eat the fruit.
Maybe there's not a trophy to eat the fruit.
Well, if there's an achievement, there's a trophy. They're always they're identical.
But
so anyway, this is Feather by Samurai Punk. And yeah, I mean, if you like the sort of relaxing, fun, just, you know, do what you want kind of games, then absolutely check out Feather. I enjoyed it, and I'll probably, you know, when you're looking for something quick and fun to play, this is the kind of game you just pick up and play.
I like these games for when you're like, if you're trying to watch some TV and play a game at the same time, that you don't have to think about this. It's just instinctive. Don't fly into that thing, and you can easily watch TV while you play something like this. Or
in this case, you can fly on it, because as soon as you take off, it lights the brazier. And I almost said that. And that's another one. I'm thinking, oh, there's a whole bunch of braziers. I'm like, well, if I light them all, maybe there's an achievement. So I lit them all, and no achievement. Yeah. At least I didn't get it. Maybe I'm missing one somewhere. I don't know. But
yeah, there's probably a super hidden one. You're like,
maybe
I will hide this on Sean.
Probably like underground or something, because there's lots of places you can go and kind of weave your way through. It's kind of fun. You can flip around. You can do a twirl. You're a bird. And that's you're a bird, and you fly around and discover this island all by yourself. And there's no other birds around. It's just huge. You're the last bird on this planet.
It's a little sad, actually.
And your name is Feather. So, I also played a new platformer called Projection First Light. And this kind of reminds me of, I want to say Contrast. Is that the game that came with the PS4 originally?
It was Contrast was the one where you have to work and move things around in order to get the get the shadows.
Shadows, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Which I loved. That was like my first platinum trophy ever was Contrast on the PS4, because it was a launch title and it was free when the PS4 launched.
You know, we played this at PAX, right?
Projection?
Yeah.
No, I don't recall this at all.
On the Switch, I remember because I specifically asked if this would be coming to other things. It said nope, just the Switch now.
I don't recall this at all from PAX, but I'm going to tell you, listen, the concept is great. Moving the light, you move light around to create shadows, and the shadows you can jump on. You can anything solid black, you can jump on, and so there's this light that you control with the right stick. That creates, when it goes behind certain things, it creates shadows, which your character using the left stick can now jump on. But this game very quickly got extremely frustrating for me, to the point where it's like, I don't want to play this game anymore. I didn't. I mean, it looks great. It's a very simplified game mechanic, like a Limbo, like that kind of style game. But for some reason, I can't wrap my head around how the shadows work, because they don't work in what I would consider a logical way. It's just so weird. I don't know. I got super frustrated.
Like if you had a flashlight, it doesn't look like it's working the way it would if you had a flashlight.
Right. That's my point. And that's why it felt so unintuitive to play this game. And it's very finicky too, trying to use the right stick to move the light around to create ramps that she can jump on. And I quickly got frustrated with the game, and I just did not enjoy it. I really didn't. So I don't know what to say I never say don't play a game, but I don't like this game myself. I did not enjoy it. I played for an hour or so, and I just got really frustrated with how the shadows were working. And it's very, very easy to make a mistake. Like, you could get a shadow, get her up really high, and then accidentally move the shadow to the wrong place. That disappears, and she falls all the way down. Because you accidentally moved to a wrong place, and the shadow just instantly disappeared. The whole shadow just gone, and she falls down because of it. That is frustrating.
When you have to redo a platforming puzzle section, it is beyond frustrating.
Oh yeah,
to have to go back through that, and it's almost like I'll just come back to it later, maybe.
Yeah, and again, like I said, I don't understand the shadow mechanic. It doesn't make sense to me what is being shadowed by this light. Contrast made more sense to me playing that game. Moving items that create shadows on the wall, and she can move into the shadows, right? She can go from the real world into the shadow world and move along the shadows. The video you're going to see right here is how easily she can fall off the shadow, and now I have to do that whole section again, because the shadow moved and she fell down. I wasn't even moving her. She just fell down.
What a clumsy jerk.
I know. Who's controlling this thing? Anyway, that is Projection First Light, that I personally don't recommend. I don't usually say that about a lot of games, but
no, you don't. It is very rare that Sean gets frustrated enough to not recommend it.
Oh yeah, I was done with this game after playing several levels, and yeah, I've had enough. So that is again, Projection First Light. Go check it out. See if you like it. Tell me if you like it. Maybe I'm just being dumb. Who knows? That's a possibility. Look, I just got pushed off the ledge because of a shadow. The shadow literally pushed me off the ledge. It's like now I have to get back up there again. I was done. Yeah. I was done. Because the big thing too is you don't control the light on and off. Like, you can't turn it off so it doesn't create a shadow. So if she's up on a platform and I'm looking around to see what else I need to do, and I accidentally go underneath the platform she's on, it creates a shadow and pushes her off. I'm like, I didn't want to do that.
Oh, yeah, there should be, like, press a button to turn on and off, like a flashlight that you can click it on and off.
Yeah, that's the other frustrating thing about it is it's always on. So if you accidentally make a shadow, it could push her right off this platform you worked so hard to get onto. Anyway, that's my gaming week. I've been playing a game on the phone lately. It's a new puzzle. Those puzzlers like the match 3 puzzlers that all started.
Wait, let me guess.
Yeah,
Is it Harry Potter?
Yes.
Yeah, I heard about that.
It's Harry Potter puzzles and spells. You remember Bejeweled, the original one, way back when?
Yeah.
That's just grown into all of these other... Yeah, so it's actually really well done. It's a very neat take on the puzzle genre game, the match 3 puzzle genre. Very, very Harry Potter-esque. Like, it takes you through each chapter of the books. So each chapter is a set of puzzles, and there's always objects in the puzzles you have to clear based on the section you're in. So they're always adding new puzzle elements and new things you have to clear. And then there's spells that you have to collect certain orbs in order to use a spell, which will help you out on the level as well. So it is very well done as a Harry Potter game and as a match 3 puzzler. Yeah. So if you like that kind of thing, I've always been a fan of those kind of puzzlers. I don't play a lot of them, but I do enjoy ones every now and again. And this one is a really good one. It's a lot of fun. Harry Potter puzzles and spells.
Puzzles and spells, not just the Harry Potter puzzles. And spells.
Puzzles and spells. Yeah, it's really well done. Not a whole lot of news this week in gaming, Tico. Have you anything at all?
No, I mean, Microsoft started their Hall of Fame competition where they're giving away a bunch of stuff to people who hit certain things. Some of it's going to be hitting like the top level in Sea of Thieves. There's a bunch of individual country gamer scores for people whoever has the highest gamer score between October 1st and October 19th, I think it is, wins an Xbox Series X.
Highest gamer score or highest increase?
Sorry, highest increase. Highest increase in gamer score over that time frame.
Okay.
So people are going hardcore at that. In each country now, they've done a similar contest in the past, which was just the highest gamer score like worldwide. This is each country, I believe, is getting their own individual
thing.
So a lot of people are jumping into doing that, and ridiculous gamer score will come from that.
Absolutely
ensue. There's a bunch of really cool challenges and stuff like that. So they're really getting into this heading the month before launch. So we'll see what they do with this.
We found out today from our friend Glenn that the monthly payment for Xbox and Game Pass Ultimate is going to be $40 plus tax here in Canada, which is a savings of a whole $2 a month over the course of 24 months. So you save $48 by basically paying for your Xbox and your Game Pass monthly at $40 a month.
It's not a terrible thing because it's not having to put out the $600.
Right. For sure.
Right? Like, and the fact that it's not more money, most of the times when you put something on a deferred payment plan like that, it's like, okay, that's going to cost you, it's a $600 console. It will cost you by the end of your term
$900.
$6,000.
Yeah, because there's no interest. Like this is literally interest free. In fact, like you said, it actually costs it over the course of the 2 years. And who's not going to have their console for 2 years? It's going to cost you $48 less than if you just paid for the console and Game Pass monthly for 2 years.
It makes no sense. I'd like to finance my house through that program.
For $40 a month? Or no interest?
The no interest.
The no interest part,
for, but I'll also pay $40 a month. I'm good with no interest and $40 a month.
Until the day you die.
I'm good with that.
Right? Yeah, man. I'd like to get my mortgage. I'd like to take a mortgage on this house, and I never want to leave, so just mortgage it for the next 50 years.
Yeah, just until I am dust.
That's right. And then you can have it, bank. When I die, you can have the bank. You can have the house.
Then come take it.
That's right.
Come take it. Right out of your cold dead hands, right?
That's right. That's right. In television and movies, shall we start with our favorite topic? Our weekly discussion of Lovecraft Country. We are now at episode 7.
Yeah.
There's 3 episodes left. And this week, Tico, was the sci-fi episode. Now, I'm not talking just a little sci-fi. This was full-on sci-fi.
Yeah.
Right? Like no more horror, no suspense, it was full-on sci-fi episode. Like, it was a good episode. But again,
I really enjoyed it.
It was another tertiary character that had the full-on story told about them.
I think we are at the point now where this show is not about that main story.
It's really not.
Of those side stories. Like, this is a true anthology. We are going to tell the stories of all of these people.
Yes.
And it's going to somehow, by the end of it, it's going to tie into this plot at some point.
Yeah.
But it is not the initial story that we thought we were going to be told. Not. That is not the story at all. This is an anthology series.
It's like Tales from the Loop.
Yep.
Right? Tales from the Loop dealt with a different character every episode, but it all took place in that town.
Yeah.
And in some cases in different times. But it all fed back into this like overarching story that weaved through.
Yeah.
Right?
I think it's just harder to find that thread between these in Lovecraft because, Atticus and, like those characters don't feel like it feels like here's a little bit about them, but it doesn't feel like the stories don't feel like they include them at all.
Right.
And it does it's not giving us enough push forward in that main story. It's not advancing the main story at all in the episodes. I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was a lot of fun.
I did. I will say the ending was confusing. I don't know what actually happened at the end without spoiling. I'm just going to say I'm not sure what the actual final resolution was with this character. It was confusing because she said one thing and then something else happened. I'm like, well, which one is it? How did her story actually finish in this episode? I don't get it. But it was a great episode. It was a great sci-fi episode, and it really borrowed from like 1950s sci-fi, which was awesome. Yeah. Like literally, the space suits and the ribbed, like the ribbed Velcro, not Velcro, but like vinyl suits and stuff that you would have seen from an old 1950s sci-fi comic.
Yeah, I mean, it still felt futuristic, but it also felt like 70s futuristic is what it felt like to me. Like
yeah, it was fun. It was a fun episode, and I think like we said last week, we have to take a step back and not expect any of the episodes to really have anything to do with each other.
Yeah.
They're just standalone episodes.
Like, here's a bunch of characters that are happen to be in this universe.
Yeah.
And here's some stories about them.
I will be honest, though, having seen this many episodes, I don't understand why it's called Lovecraft Country.
Well, he pulled out the book. Lovecraft Country book.
He did. He pulled out the book that this series is based on. That was like, how meta is that?
Yeah, it's like okay. Let's see where this goes. I'm still really enjoying the
I
thing.
do.
I'm actually very tempted to read the book as well. I just don't know when I'm going to have time, but I am tempted to read that book as well.
Yeah, you're right though. That pulling out the book, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm looking at the screen. I'm like, that's the book this this whole series is based on. What are they doing? What? What's happening here? It's like is he going to read the book and figure out what's happening next?
It's like, just skip to the last page.
Oh, that's what's going on. Yeah. This is what I need to do next. That was so weird. I mean, yeah, like you said, I am enjoying it very much. I actually look forward to when the new episode's available. I look forward to watching it. It is a very fascinating show. Just not every episode is great.
Right. Which is anthology stuff. That's the nature of anthology stuff.
Yeah, I mean, look at Twilight Zone, right? Or Amazing Stories. Yeah. This season of Amazing Stories, this new one that just came back, it was on Apple TV. It was like, 5 episodes? I'm like, why is it only 5 episodes? But there was a couple of episodes, or maybe I think one in particular. I'm like, that was terrible.
I think 3 of the 5 were really good, and like 2 of them were like, eh.
Yeah, exactly. And Twilight Zone is kind of the same. You know, there's some really great episodes, and there's others that are like, meh, could have done without that one. I am finally caught up on The Boys. You asked me last week about The Boys.
Right. You're probably still an episode behind because there's a new episode.
I am fully caught up on The Boys up to episode 7, which was today's episode.
You are ahead of me by 1 episode, Sean.
That's because I actually have Amazon Prime now, so I'm watching it on Amazon Prime.
I had it available to watch. I just have not had time today. Today has been one of those days.
Oh my gosh, Tico, this last episode, I'll tell you what happens. No, I won't.
No!
But this... Okay, I'm going to tell you, first of all, I said a few weeks ago that I was having a hard time getting into the show, season 2.
Right.
It felt really slow and dry, and I didn't know what was happening. Then all of a sudden, in episode 3, things literally blew up. Actually, literally, things blew up in episode 3. And all of a sudden, it just went boom! And it started skyrocketing through 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah.
And it was just non-stop. And it's like mayhem and superpowers. I'm like, finally, we're actually seeing things happen. Like, I hate superhero shows where there's no powers.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point? And finally, we're seeing so much, like, mayhem. But I've also realized, Tico, that they're telling the story of the boys almost like a soap opera. Like, there is no set story. It's just continue the story with no real direction, for lack of a better term. Like, I don't feel like, here's the story for this season, and we're going to finish it. We're going to tell this one story. I feel like they're not doing that. They're just creating a superhero soap opera. Does that make sense?
And I love that that's what it is. It's like who's sleeping with who's related to who blew up whose head.
Oh my gosh. There's certain things trying to be achieved, but it feels like it's the long game. It's not here's what season 2 is about. This is like, here's what this entire series is about, and we're not going to resolve it until we're done telling the story.
All right, so like mild spoilers for episode 6. I'm not on episode 7 yet, but we can have a mild discussion about episode 6, which I absolutely loved. We'll give people 4 seconds to plug their ears, and then we'll just discuss like the fact that, can we discuss openly now? We're good?
Sure. You mean talking about the Arkham Asylum style place?
The Arkham Asylum style place was fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
Like all of these heroes and stuff like that, like everybody's associated with a thing, and then all of a sudden you realize this is where they put the rejects.
Yes,
the people whose powers don't fit into some of the people whose behavior don't fit into, because you start to wonder, like, you have superheroes, but you don't have super villains until like the other countries started developing super terrorists, but you don't have super villains.
Well, here's the thing about the boys. Even the super terrorists are what they're calling. Well, I mean, Homelander wants to call them super villains. Want to bring it? Let's bring it right back around, but they're all manufactured. That's the thing about this. The superheroes, the villains, everything the public knows is manufactured by Vought Industries.
Right.
Everything you know about superheroes, everything you know about supervillains has been made up and played out on the world stage for a purpose. Right. That's what The Boys is all about. And
I love that we've seen what happened to the ones that didn't make the cut. Like, like all of these people, like guys with weird powers.
Weird. Like really weird powers.
Yeah. Like there's some very odd powers.
Like the snake dude. That's not really a snake, if you know what I'm saying.
The basically Mr. Fantastic with the penis. That's basically what his power is. Mr. Fantastic penis.
You know what I love about The Boys as well is how they're just ripping on like the MCU. Yeah. They're taking the concept of the MCU and saying, this is the 7, right? They've done 12 years of movies all leading up to Dawn of the 7, essentially the Avengers, or like Avengers Endgame, right? Where they all come together.
even the little quip with the Joss Whedon rewrite.
Yes. Oh, there's so like much. There is so much happening where they take stuff from the real world and make it their own in The Boys.
And I love that we have Lamplighter now, who showed up, who is played by
Shawn Ashmore.
Yeah. Who is now, he's a hero on the show. Well, I guess not a hero, but a hero-esque on this show with fire powers. But he is most known for playing
Iceman.
Bobby Drake, Iceman.
Yes.
So going from like freeze powers to fire powers, which is a sort of fun little take on that.
I got to tell you though, season 2 is, wow. It's just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe what you're doing here. And wait till you see episode 7. Like the ending of episode 7, Tico, it's gonna blow your mind. I'm not even kidding. Your head is gonna explode at the end of season 7 or episode 7. It is, just be ready for your head to explode. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
I will be ready for that, Sean. I will watch that this evening.
All right.
And Utopia is a new series that came out on Hulu.
On
I want
Prime.
to say
Nope, Prime.
Hulu Prime. On Prime is what I was saying.
Yes.
It is a really weird and interesting show. So I start watching this. I'm like, okay, what's this all about? And it starts out that you find out that there's this comic book that everybody absolutely loves called Dystopia.
Yes.
It's just this cult following, and then
like I'm talking obsessive fans,
obsessive cult following.
Yes.
And then somebody finds a sequel to this, the manuscript to the sequel Utopia.
Yeah. And
then all of a sudden, all of this, it becomes like people sort of figure out, all of these conspiracy theorists and stuff like that figure out that these comics are predicting or telling all of these major diseases that are coming out.
Disasters and diseases, yeah.
Yeah, and they figure out that, if they get their hands on Utopia, they can predict what's coming next.
Yeah, it's like full of codes and hints and
mystery stuff and like these covert operations and everything like that. It is weird and violent and
oh my gosh, so
funny.
Violent.
It is.
I've only watched the first episode. How far into it are you?
I'm episode 4 right now. I'm really enjoying this, how the story's unfolding, and it's very great. It reminds me a lot of what's the Elsewhere?
Tales from Elsewhere.
It's not Tales from Elsewhere. What is it? That doesn't seem right.
No, that's Tales from the Loop. It was the
other one.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Elsewhere. Dispatches from Elsewhere.
It reminds me of the unfolding of the way that unfolded with the story with that whole secret society is very familiar in feel in Utopia, and I'm really enjoying the story so far.
Yeah, I watched the first one. It started out like really slow and boring, I'd say, for the first half. And then the two
quick.
Like the two guys, I got to tell you, the villains, at least in episode 1, again, I don't know what's happening. The villains in episode 1 who essentially, they're hunting down anyone who's seen the manuscript. Yeah. And what I love about them, there's something so fascinating about psychotic villains that are unbelievably calm and collected.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just love that, how perfectly calm and collected this guy is, and has his partner essentially do all the dirty work.
Yeah.
It's like, there's something so fascinating about those kind of villains. I just love it.
The true sociopath who really, it's a job, it's a business, and they just go about this like, I'm going to
zero feelings. Yep.
I have to shoot this guy in the head. I've got to kill this person, and that's it. I mean, spoilers aside, the first episode, I think it's the first episode where they're going around room to room, clearing, room to room, getting rid of the people who had seen the thing, and they knock on the door.
They had just seen it. That's all. They've seen one page of it.
Yeah. But they need to clear, so they knock on the door, and they have this list of like, hey, are you this way? Yep. Shoot him in the head, close the door, walk to the next one.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And there's a whole montage of them just going through this list, killing people, and it's
it's pretty brutal too.
And yeah, like even but the mentality around it too, because they do the whole thing, and they're like, and you can tell they have like a higher power because they make a phone call. It's like, hey, find out if anybody on this list has any history of mental illness. And they get back, hey, we got a ding. This guy has a history of mental illness. Fantastic. And then they go and they kill him, but they set him up as the killer of all of the other people.
Oh, then you must be moving into uncharted territory because I have not seen that.
Oh,
so thanks for the spoiler.
Well, it's not that much of a spoiler.
Sure it is. Now I don't have to watch.
Well, you can just watch anyways.
Anyway,
on the wall
we need to stop talking before you ruin it for everyone.
Fine.
A couple of news articles this week that were interesting, all having to do with the MCU. There seems to be a lot more information coming out about MCU stuff, but I don't know about this first one. So there's now talk that Jamie Foxx is going to reprise his role of Electro from Amazing Spider-Man 2 in the MCU. And I'm like, well, I think that's a bad idea.
Okay, a couple of things here. Number one, I did not care for his take on Electro.
True, I will give you that. Absolutely.
I did not care for his take on Electro. Number two, I have a feeling that this is going to tie into the multiverse scenario, very similar to how the Legends of Tomorrow, so the CW Arrowverse shows brought Michael Keaton in as Batman. Whereas this is just going to be a multiverse thing. He's going to swing in, see Andrew Garfield fighting Electro.
You mean Michael Keaton's world, not Michael Keaton.
Yeah, did we not see Michael Keaton in there?
No, we didn't.
But that's what I mean. Like along those lines of a, fan casting sort of thing. Like, oh, we're going to have him in. It'll be part of the universe. Tom Holland will swing through and see Andrew Garfield fighting Jamie Foxx.
I don't know because this is supposed to be for Spider-Man 3, not Doctor Strange, because Doctor Strange is Multiverse of Madness.
Right.
So are you saying that the entire Phase 4 is going to be all multiverse-based stuff?
I think that it maybe is he will be tied into the multiverse or Spider-Verse that they have discussed. We maybe see something along those lines.
It's just, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know, man. I mean, I kind of trust Kevin Feige with the MCU, but something feels wrong about this.
I guess I didn't love the character, and I didn't love like the origin story for Jamie Foxx's Electro.
No. I didn't think it was well done at all.
Like they were supposed to have a third movie that got canceled based off of how bad that movie did.
Yes, exactly.
When you look at the great Spider-Man villain portrayals we've seen with Alfred Molina.
I was just going to say, if you want to bring someone back, why aren't you bringing Alfred Molina's Doc Ock back?
Thomas Hayden Church as Sandman.
Give Sandman some actual story.
Yeah, Michael Keaton as the Vulture, again, better fit as a villain. Like if you're talking about the movies along the way, like
Michael Keaton as Vulture is MCU.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm talking about like the portrayals of the villains.
Yes.
Compared to this was not a good portrayal of the villain.
Unless Jamie Foxx is going to just be Electro again and not the same Electro.
If they rewrite the story,
if they're going to rewrite Electro, but he's just similar to the way they brought J. Jonah Jameson back with, he reprised his role from all of the other Spider-Man. He has always been J. Jonah Jameson the same way.
I don't know if I can't see him in anything and not see him being J. Jonah Jameson. I mean, he's in another movie. He's still J. Jonah Jameson.
Exactly, because that's how well he plays that role. And why is his name slipping my mind?
J.K. Simmons.
J.J. Simmons, thank you.
J.K.
J.K. Simmons plays J. Jonah Jameson. But I don't know. We'll see. Listen, Kevin Feige knows what he's doing. He's proved it, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be solid. But it just feels right now with the information we have, something doesn't fit.
Yeah, like if you're going to go back and say, hey, why don't you look back at one of the worst Spider-Man movies that have come out in all of the different Spider-Man
other than sets. Spider-Man 3. Come on. Let's be real.
Spider-Man 3 at least had a few things that you could look at and go, okay, Thomas Hayden Church was great as Sandman in that.
Yes.
And
but
they stopped talking.
They shoehorned Venom into it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
They should never have put Venom in. It should have just been Sandman. It would have been way better. But anyway, we'll see if Jamie Foxx if this is all true. Yeah, we're going to see whether Spider-Man is going to open up the Spider-Verse up, because even Kevin Feige has said Spider-Man's going to be that character that can cross the verses, so we'll see if that's actually going to be an MCU thing or not. And while we're on the topic of MCU and Disney Plus, Marvel's Miss Marvel has their main character. So Miss Marvel has been cast. It is a newcomer, Iman Vellani. And I will tell you something, Tico. I think she fits the part perfectly. From the little I know about Miss Marvel, and that's just from seeing the character and kind of like just seeing pictures of her and knowing what her powers are, I think they've picked a fantastic actress to play her. I feel like she totally fits the part.
She has the absolute perfect look that you would expect of this character, this sort of youthful
Muslim character. Yeah.
Yeah, that has, she has the perfect look for this. I think this is going to be a really, really fun show.
I really hope so. Here's my issue with it, though. We're not going to see it for like almost 3 years. We said this last week, right? How long has it taken already since they announced Marvel shows on Disney Plus? It's too long. Come on, people. It's like, what is there, a pandemic going on or something?
Listen, just make us our stuff. Go back to work.
Yeah.
I want my shows.
I want my shows. I want my shows.
All now.
And can we talk a little bit about new shows that have just returned but we haven't watched yet? I'm excited for The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead. The final episode of season 10 finally aired. I am so looking forward to this. And the thumbnail, Tico, from this episode shows the hospital where we last saw our heroes completely surrounded by the dead. Like a swamp of the dead around this hospital. And I'm like, how do you get out of this? It's so epic.
Underground tunnels?
Yes, that's it. Then they find themselves across the country.
I want to watch this. I'm going to watch it today.
Yeah,
I'm watching.
I can't wait to watch that. And then the new show, the new Walking Dead World Beyond show also aired. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm wondering when that takes place, if it's in the future. If it's like years after The Walking Dead, I wonder if they'll say how long.
Zombies.
Great. That's the next show. Space Zombies.
Yeah. Zombies
The Walking Dead in space.
I would watch that.
That would be called Dead Space. We've played it.
Yeah, we have. I don't know. I'm excited that we're getting these are coming back, that we're back to television airing again. We're getting new stuff. We're getting top run shows back. We are going to be inundated with stuff we're going to get to a certain point where we're going to be like, I just don't have time to watch anything anymore.
Well, we'll just stop doing the show then.
Fine, whatever. It's not like I ever get to say anything important anyways.
This show is never going to end, right?
Never.
Well, it might. Someday.
Sunday? What?
Sunday! Oh my gosh. Okay, before we go off the rails, I know it's not been quite an hour, but you know what? We haven't had a whole lot of news this week, so I'm not going to stretch this out unless we just do this for a while.
Okay, you let me know when it's my turn to talk. Okay?
No. Anyway, thank you everybody for joining us for episode number 387. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. And if you're not watching us on the YouTubes, come on over to YouTube /OMG Nexus. You can follow the show on Twitter at the OMG Hour. We are also on Facebook at OMG Nexus. And I'm Zion Tane everywhere, and that is XIANTAYNE.
All right, I'm Mr. Second Place. You can follow our Instagram, which just hit 1,200 followers on Flipping Tables with OMG. And you didn't even mention the fact that our YouTube surpassed 250 this week.
Am I supposed to?
I don't know. It's a milestone number.
Well, I mean, if we hit 500, sure. I see 500. Then we
tell people that 250 people think we're really cool, and so they should do the same thing by pressing the button. And then we have 500 because all of the people are going to press the button.
All right, I'm going now, Chico.
I know, yeah, whatever.
Okay, thanks, everybody. See you next week.
Bye, guys.
I now tell them about the 250.
Oh, I didn't realize it was scripted into this part of the conversation.
Right here, just say subscribe.
So 250 people press that button down below.
And you should,
too. You should.
Press it. Press it.
Press